Yeah, through everything. Oh, yes, He will. You take care of me. I know for myself that He will. He will take care. Oh, yes, He will. You take care of you.
Oh, okay. All right. Good luck.
Those of you that know He'll take care of you, let me hear you say yeah. Say it again. Say it again. You know, open sanctified church. So they begin to feel like this. All the saints get together.
be now. Dismay, never betide. God will take care of you. Beneath his wings, beneath his wings, love abide. God will take care. He'll take care of you. I know you He will take care. He'll take care of you through every day. Yes, He will. All of the way. I know that He will. He will take care. Oh, yes, He will. He'll take care of you. God will take care. I know that He will. Ooh, He will take care. The Lord will take care of you. Take care of you. He will take care of you. Yeah, through every day. Oh, yes, He will. You take care of me. I know myself that He will. He will take care. Oh, yes, He will. You take care of you. God will.
He'll take care of you. Let me hear you say yeah. Say it again. Say it again. You know, who is
This may never be time. God will take care of you.
Hello, dear friends. Can you get as comfortable as you can get, please? Because we would like to begin. I know it's not easy under these weather circumstances, although it's very sunny. And Johnny May expressly wanted this to be a joyous occasion, and I'll explain a little bit how she looked at that. My name is Gregory Myers, and I certainly do not wish to presume or impose on what I've been asked by the granddaughter to help with this. We represent, and the same for these lovely people behind me, the local Baha'i community, the Baha'i community of Montgomery, Alabama. And since Johnny May and Paul were Baha'is, this is a ceremony that is sort of straddles different religious traditions, if you like, yes? And so it's been my honor, undeserved, to officiate a little bit this afternoon. A warm welcome to all of you, because I know people have come from far and wide. I don't know the family members, but I believe some of you will have a chance to share some memories of Johnny May in the program. I know not everyone has gotten the program, but it is established, so we will get. It will not be too long. Some of the prayers will be Baha'i prayers, not all of them, and but they are not particularly long. And then I believe we'll sort of end in an interfaith state, just as Johnny May would have liked it. I do want to point out Paula Witt, with whom I've been in contact most of the time. There she is. Thank you very much for everything. And we would like to begin with a selection that was chosen by Johnny May herself, and then go on with a few more of the program items. Thank you very much.
Blessed is the spot, and the house, and the place, and the city, and the heart, and the mountain, and the refuge, and the cave, and the valley, and the land, and the sea, and the island, and the meadow, where mention of God hath been made, and his praise glorified.
Good afternoon. I'm Jenny Colbert Kennedy, and I'm a member of the local Montgomery Baha'i organization. We will now do the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is here in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive those who trespass. Forgive us for our trespasses and those who trespass against us. Lord, take care of us and take all of our sins and our good deeds to rest. And now will we all recite the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as it is on earth as it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread. Forgive our trespass. Give those who trespass against us. In the name of the Lord. Amen.
That brings me back to my Christian days. I've been asked to say a few words about the Baha'i faith because Johnny May and Paul became Baha'i so late in their lives and stayed for decades afterwards. I will be very, very brief. If there's one word you should remember, it's the word unity about the Baha'i faith. It believes that there is only one creator, an all-supreme being, and that this creator essentially creates and rules all of us and permeates all of us, all mankind, all things in the universe. This is also the basis for the different religions Baha'is believe. Baha'is believe that the founders of these religions are like teachers who come with the same divine knowledge and teach different classes, so to speak, of mankind. So Baha'is believe in Jesus Christ, as well as in the founder of the Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah, which means glory of God. In the program, you will see some of the writings are from Baha'u'llah, and others are by his interpreting son, Abdul Baha, which means servant of the glory. So Baha'is believe in the unity of religion, and in the unity of God, and in the unity of mankind, regardless of race, religion, etc. Baha'is consort with all mankind in spirit of fellowship, as, if you like, a religious principle. There are two things that go on in religion according to Baha'is. There's the spiritual side and there's the social side. Now, when it comes to the spiritual side, all are the same. Man is man, God is God. Prayer, fasting, the goodly attributes of God, all of this spiritual work that we do as religious people is the same. The social teachings, because the revelations come in different times and for different people, change. Social teachings of Baha'u'llah revolve around the unity of mankind. There's lots to learn about equality of the men and women and harmony between religion and science that I will not bore you with, because those are all the social teachings. But the spiritual ones remain the same. We feel that there's no difference between Baha'is and other believers. So, because our life is both spiritual and social, we have goals to achieve. We have to carry out God's work in the social realm, and we have to advance our soul's progress towards its creator in the spiritual realm. And at the end of our life, we leave the physical behind and we go on into the spiritual life. This is why Baha'u'llah says, O Son of the Supreme, I have made death a messenger of joy for thee. Wherefore dost thou grieve? I have made the light to shed unto thee its splendor. Why dost thou veil thyself? Johnny May, we think, as Baha'is, has shed her veil and moved into the eternal light.
My name is Eileen Knott. I am honored to address you all with Johnny May Anderson's eulogy. The eulogy that is written in this program is beautiful. I love the way it starts with her family, of which she spoke about constantly. Her parents, her aunts and uncles, her cousins in Newville, Alabama. The stories of growing up on a farm, the stories of all the things that she learned from her parents, and that she learned from her parents and their continued efforts to advance not only their family, but their community. This eulogy continues with her love of education. Johnnie was imprinted early on with the incredible education of a Rosenwald school and then that of Tuskegee Institute. She went on to become an educator herself, as we all really are called to be. Johnnie and her husband, Paul Anderson, who she met at Tuskegee, then moved from Alabama. They spent most of their lives in Sioux City, Iowa, where Paul was a veterinarian and Johnnie was a supporter of his work, as well as an incredible mom to their only child, Edna Elaine Anderson Crosby. When Johnnie and Paul Anderson in Sioux City, they learned about the Baha'i faith and they studied with community there. They retired and planned to move to Alabama because it was in between family that was in Georgia, in between family that was in South Alabama. It was a nice middle point. And they expected that there would be no Baha'is in Alabama because Baha'is for them meant unity, racial unity, unity of religion, unity of the world. And that was not the Alabama they knew. So they were real surprised when the Sioux City Baha'i said, "Oh no, you'll find that there are Baha'is in Montgomery." And sure enough, they wrote a letter to the Baha'is here in Montgomery and said, and introduced and announced that Johnny and Paul were coming. They especially noted Johnny's spirituality, how she led with spirit. Johnny and Paul loved relationships and people. They traveled extensively. I remember her talking about Friendship Force, meeting friends that she met from around the world who came to visit her in Montgomery. Johnny was an incredible networker and letter writer. She fostered and cared for her people, her friends, who were all over the world. I first learned of Johnny when she and my friend Enid, who you'll hear in a minute, came to me. I was working at a community center and they wanted to offer their services to help with the children's program. That's how I met Johnny, in a spirit of service. Johnny was preceded in death by her husband, as well as her daughter. Her sister, Elvernice Green, her brother, Julian Kirkland, her father, Thomas Alonzo Kirkland, and mother, Nella Smith Kirkland. She is survived by this beautiful family here. Nieces, nephews, cousins, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and survived by the many people that she made an impact on, including this community. Thank you.
Perhaps one or two of the family members would like to share some memories.
Good afternoon, family and friends. I am Anita Kirkland Cooper, daughter of Julian Kirkland, Aunt Johnny's brother. We all know that Aunt Johnny was a firm believer in bringing family together. She did our family trees. She taught us all about our family history, and we all loved and cherished her for that. I've got a special memory of Aunt Johnny. It's actually not my memory, but it's a story that was told by my parents and Aunt Johnny about how I came into the world. After my father moved to Pennsylvania and New Jersey as a young man, and after World War II, he decided to come back south to continue his education, and actually enrolled in Tuskegee, and he and Uncle Paul graduated from Tuskegee the exact same day. And at the time, my mother was 9 months pregnant with me, and she was very anxious to get back up to New Jersey to have me delivered in the hospital. But my father wanted to linger to attend the fourth Sunday in May sing at Mount Sinai Church. And so they stayed. And the next day, Mama had the car all packed up, ready to go, but she wasn't feeling well. She said she had some bad potato salad or ate too many tomatoes or whatever, but she had a stomach ache. And Mama Nella, my grandmother, and Aunt Johnny and my dad practically had to drag her out of the car, saying, you know, if she was sick on the road back to New Jersey, there'd be nobody to help her. So they convinced her to get out of the car, and I was born shortly thereafter, with the assistance of my grandmother Nella, Aunt Johnny, the doctor, and a midwife. And Aunt Johnny always laughs about how she had to cut up some old tablecloths to make me diapers and some shirts. And a little while later, they sent me on up the road to New Jersey. So I will always love her just for that story. And that's my own special, well, I've got others, but it's cold. But I will say, when my dad moved back to Montgomery,
somehow I became chauffeur for Aunt Johnnie and my dad, and I have to write a book about our travels. I call it Travels with Heckle and Jekyll, because my dad was 9 years older, and they never really agreed on anything, even the route, where to eat, nothing. So we've got, and Paula shared some of those trips. We've got lots of memories, but those are my memories of Aunt Johnnie, and I appreciate your patience. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Larry Conway. I'm Aunt Johnny's nephew. I have my wife standing by my side, Aunt Johnny's niece, elder niece's daughter. First of all, it's an honor to be here to celebrate this wonderful life of Johnny May Anderson. As I was thinking and reflecting, I was saying there's so much that could be said for a person who lived 99 years, but touched 100 years. 100 different years she lived. For Aunt Johnnie, I was planning on celebrating the 100 years with her. So we're here celebrating it. I was thinking, wow, she's seen a lot. I've known her for half my life. I remember a time when we drove from Connecticut, New Jersey, and I asked Aunt Johnnie a question. And 2 hours later, we were pulling up to Chestnut Street, and she was still talking. She was still talking. And she ended it. She said, "This was a great conversation. We have to do this again." But very briefly, every time I think about her or I'm in her presence, I definitely think about family. She was a major, major advocate of family. But I also felt her spirituality. I felt her wisdom. I felt her historical context. She was a walking history book. I felt her globalism. She always talked about world traveling, as it says in the obituary, and people who came to visit her. I took her blueprint for life and I applied it to my life and to our family, and we will continue to do that. So those are my memories, and I thank you, Aunt Johnnie. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Sleep in peace.
I'm asking my husband to stay next to me because it's cold, so I'm trying to make his body heat. But good afternoon, everyone. I'm Karen, Johnny's niece from Connecticut, and I'm actually surprised that I'm able to do this. So I'm going to talk quickly, so I can do this. So please bear with me if you hear some pauses and some gaps. So Aunt Johnnie, she was my mother's big sister. I mean, Johnny meant everything to my mother. So she was a very significant person in my life. But it's not about me today. It's not about my mom. It's about Johnny May. My dearest aunt was with us for almost a century. And I'm here with my family, my children, my two sons, Adam, Alex, my daughter Isla, and my brother's here as well. This is a very sad occasion for me, but it's also a celebration. It's a celebration of God's life. And I have so many memories of Johnny, so many, about everything, her life experiences, education. That was a big thing for her. Family, she loved family. She loved family. Friends, history, cooking. And whenever I tell people about my Aunt Johnnie, they said she sounded like an amazing woman. And she truly was. She will be missed, but she's at peace now. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bridget Russ, and I'm a cousin from Louisville, Alabama. Had the pleasure of getting to know Johnny when she moved here to Montgomery. And I can't think of all the times we shared. I shared numerous meals at her house, enjoyed just going over and talking with Johnny and Paul. She enjoyed numerous Thanksgivings with us and some of the memories with my mom. I saw my mom and Johnny in the program, and I told my niece and my brother-in-law, I said, I know my mama is shy, smiling down now to say that her and Johnny were in the program together. Johnny spearheaded a lot of our reunions. Some of the people that I know now, I would have never known because she would tell me on numerous occasions, you know, you have cousins in Tuskegee. And I'm like, I don't know cousins in Tuskegee. But I'm so blessed that I was able to, Johnny spread, it gave me a lot of her knowledge. As a matter of fact, I have a big uh, binder that Johnny gave me that I have in my closet right now. When she got ready to move to Atlanta, which I didn't want her to go to Atlanta, but she said, I need to go go to Atlanta before I have to go. But I'm so thankful that we were able to go to Atlanta and celebrate her 95th birthday with her. We had a grand time there. One of my most vivid memories with Johnny was she asked me to take her to Tuskegee University Institute for the inauguration. I think it was Dr. Roshan. So I'm thinking we're going to go to Tuskegee and attend the actual ceremony. And then we will be headed back to Montgomery. I know when we finished the ceremony, I said, Johnny, you ready to go? No, no, let's just go over to the Kellogg Center for the reception. And I believe Johnny had to she talked to everybody, including Dr. Roshan, the history. She told him the history. And I don't think we got back to Montgomery to close to midnight. But it was such a wonderful time because I was with her and they knew how special she was, and I realized how special she was. And I'm so thankful that the family, that we had a chance to have such great times together. We love you, Johnny. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Enid Probst. I'm a member of the Baha'i community here, and this is Debbie Wooten, also a member. We're going to share a few, just very few short memories sent to us or that we have about Johnny May. This is from a young gentleman that used to live here, Michael Healy. My heart is broken. Johnny May and Paul were such warm souls who welcomed all to their homes. Johnny May was so active in the faith, and she said she was, quote, making up for lost time as she became a Baha'i in later life. She pursued the opportunities of the faith vigorously. I felt like a friend in her company. Everybody felt like a friend in her company. She listened as she talked. She shared her experiences, but in a way like, oh shucks, you won't believe what happened to me and how I learned that lesson. She had stories, and she would tell them to you. Before you knew it, you were sitting cross-legged, just listening as she was transporting you into the scene. She talked to me, not as a kid, but as an adult. Sure, a young adult, slowly striving to make his way into the world. She acknowledged my job. She knew I wanted to do a good job, but she told me there was more. There was a way to do the job with grace and with enthusiasm. No one had ever said that before. Not many have said that since. Work hard, get more done was their mantra. Be graceful and listen to others. seemed to be hers. It was great advice. I still strive to follow it. I love Johnny May. May she soar in her new abode with grace and with humor.
Well, I think that Johnny May, for me, she taught me how to be a Baha'i. Not by her words, not by sitting down and teaching me so much, but by her actions. How to be considerate, how to love all mankind. And I can remember a couple things. One was I heard how much she traveled, and when I first met her, maybe within the first year, she had invited me to several things, and she invited me to this dinner with one of the organizations. She was a member of Zonta. And I'm sitting there with lovely Johnnie. I'm just really getting to know her and this other lady on the other side of me. And this one lady says, I think I've seen you before. And she goes, well, where have you been? You know, and she goes, well, and they talked a little bit and they said, oh, we met in China. Yes, we met in China. I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty neat. And then maybe a month or two later, we were out at my house and Johnnie was there. And this other woman walked in. And this other woman looks at her and she says, I think we've met somewhere. And Johnnie said, we met in Finland. And I just remember all these stories of Johnnie and her travels and meeting people in Africa, wherever she went. And so the woman that walked into my house that one day, her name was Pat Alston. She became a very good friend. I think she felt like Johnny May was her mother. And she sent a memory of hers, and that I thought that I would share a little bit. It's very short. Johnny May was at some event, and she met this couple whose last name was Kirkland. And I got to talking, and it turns out that this couple was, they were descended from the plantation owner that owned Johnny's family, and gave them the name Kirkland. And so, of course, Johnny sat and talked, and then they decided that they would invite her to their family reunion. And she was very happy to come, and she was going to be the key speaker. Well, Pat Alston traveled with Johnny down to Henry County, and they all had lunch, and they were, as she says in her little comment here, she said they were the only two people of color at the lunch. Then all of them were invited into the church because there was a guest speaker. And the woman introduced the guest speaker. She prepared the family to meet a woman who had a long life in Iowa, traveler, professional, went to all these different places, and who wouldn't want to meet such a person? And then she called Johnny up to the front. And I believe this was the first time those folks met Johnny. And she put everybody at ease. She started her presentation, and as you know, she was a great storyteller. And she got everyone laughing, but she managed to let the family know that even though her family had been owned by the Kirkland family, and even though her family had the Kirkland name, as far as she knew, the families were not related, nor had she ever heard of any cruelty or mistreatment by the Kirkland family. And she made it clear, very clear, in the most diplomatic manner, that her purpose in accepting the invitation to be the guest speaker at the Kirkland family reunion was to share with the Kirkland family some information that might be uplifting to them. And that is that when the slaves were freed, members of the plantation owner's family in Virginia were fearful that the Kirkland family in Henry County might be in danger. So the Virginia family members invited the Alabama family to move to Virginia. As there were no buyers for the Kirkland home and land, Johnny May's father and his brothers put together the purchase price. And so it was that Johnny May and her family lived in the Kirkland plantation home. The Kirkland brothers, her family of Kirklands, prospered on the 800 acres, which they've been able to hand down to their children. And I do remember sitting in Johnny's house while she was managing all that property and talking about this and that. And I just very, very pleased to be here today and to share some of these memories with you.
I'm going to keep this pretty short. Hi, I'm Renee. I'm Aaliyah, Grandma Anderson's great-granddaughter's mom, and she was definitely a grandmother to me. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this because this is pretty joyous. I've cried all week, and I've got to share some good time with her the last 2 weeks before she passed. Paula had said Grandma wasn't talking on the phone. And if anybody knows, that was her lifeline. I rushed down. I said, she's not talking on the phone. Things are getting close. So I was able to talk to her and kiss her and tell her thank you. And even though she was really quiet, a little confused, I remember the day that I left, she was just staring off. And I knew she wasn't looking at me. And I said, Grandma, what are you looking at? And she says, I believe I'm seeing the Lord. And when she said that, I knew it was going to be not too long. But I just want to say, I think of all the things I talked to Grandma about her health. I could talk about her blood pressure, her neuropathy, this and that. But the one thing she got back to was she still had all of her teeth. So I want to tell everybody she was 99 and she had all of her teeth. And that was her biggest accomplishment, I believe.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darlene Minifield, and on behalf of Tuskegee University, I am the Southeast Regional Director. I met cousin Johnny May, I believe 9 years ago, when she came to Tuskegee as we honored our 90 Plus Club. And my cousin, Mary Hicks, told me, this is your cousin. And I was like, wow. I'm from Henry County. I'm from Hetland, Alabama, Newville. And on behalf of Dr. Charlotte P. Morris, who is our president at the time, we would just like to say we thank God for her. And I just want to sing the Tuskegee song. Tuskegee, the pride of the swift growing south, we pray thee our homage today. For the worth of our teaching, the joy of our care, and the good we have known neath thy sway. Oh, long striving mothers of diligent sons, and daughters whose strength is our pride, we will love thee forever and ever shall walk through the oncoming year at thy side. God bless you, family.
Good afternoon. What an honor and a privilege it is to be blessed enough to be able to say some more prayers for Johnny. He is God. O peerless Lord, praise be thou for having kindled that light in the glass of the concourse on high, for having guided that bird of faithfulness to the nest of the Baha'i kingdom. Thou hast joined that precious to the mighty sea. Thou hast returned that spreading ray of light to the Sun of Truth. Thou hast welcomed that captive of remoteness into the garden of reunion, and led her who longed to look upon thee to thy presence in thy bright place of lights. Thou art the Lord of tender love. Thou art the last goal of the yearning heart. Thou art the dearest wish of the martyr's soul. That's from Abdul Baha. O my God, O thou forgiver of sins, bestower of gifts, dispeller of afflictions, verily, I beseech thee to forgive the sins of such as have abandoned the physical garment and have ascended to the spiritual world. Such as have abandoned the physical garment and have ascended to the spiritual world. O my Lord, purify them from trespasses, dispel their sorrows, and change their darkness into light. Cause them to enter the garden of happiness. Cleanse them with the most pure water, and grant them to behold thy splendors on the loftiest mount. Thank you.
Aloha, friends. My name is Terry McBride. I'm with the Montgomery Baha'i community. I'm a member of the local assembly. My memory of Johnny Anderson is I was a Baha'i for a few years before Johnny Anderson came to Montgomery, and always had these very interesting conversations. She talked about how she met the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II, met Eleanor Roosevelt. One of her professors was no, I can't remember his name. George Washington Carver, I think, was one of her teachers. And I always thought that she was a rather fascinating person to know. And I always enjoyed listening to her stories, how her and Paul lived in Iowa. So yeah, I'm from the Midwest myself. I'm from Indianapolis. And I guess we were both fellow Midwesterners, sharing our experiences in the snow and all that kind of stuff. But here's some thoughts from the Baha'i writings concerning the nature of the soul. A friend asked, how should one look forward to death? Abdul Baha answered, how does one look forward to the goal of a journey? With hope and with expectation. It is even so with the end of this earthly journey. In the next world, man will find himself freed from many of the disabilities under which he now suffers. Those who have passed on through death have a sphere of their own. It is not removed from ours. Their work, the works of the kingdom, is ours. But it is sanctified from that which we call time and place. Time with us is measured by the sun. When there is no more sunrise and no more sunset, that kind of time does not exist for man. Those who have ascended have different attributes from those who are still on the earth, yet there is no real separation. And now, concerning the question regarding the soul of man and its survival after death. Know thou of a truth that the soul, after its separation from the body, will continue to until it has attained the presence of God. It will endure as long as the kingdom of God, his sovereignty, his dominion, power will endure. It will manifest the signs of God and his attributes, and will reveal his loving kindness and bounty. Blessed is the soul which, at the hour of its separation from the body, is sanctified from the vain imaginings of the peoples of the world. Such a soul liveth and moveth in accordance with the will of its Creator, and enter the all-highest paradise. And that was a tablet written by Baha'u'llah. God bless everyone.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dennis Kennedy of the Baha'i in Montgomery. I've only met Johnny May Anderson one time by telephone, And I will never forget, she left me with three things. She left me, number one, she said, I was new to the Baha'i family. She let me know that Dennis, now you belong to all religions. She told me that there was one God. And she told me really right now there was only one in humanity. We were all one. Let us pray. Oh my God, this is the handmaiden and the daughter of thy handmaiden, who have believed in thee and in thy signs, and set his face toward thee, wholly detached from all except thee. Thou art verily those who show mercy, the most merciful. Deal with her, O thou, who forgiveth the sins of men and concealeth their faults, as beseeth the heaven and thy bounty, and the ocean of thy grace. Grant her admission into the precinct of thy transcendent mercy that was before the foundation of earth and heaven. There is no God but thee, the ever forgiving, the most generous. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We all verily worship God. 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 We all verily bow down before 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 God. We all verily are devoted unto God. We all verily are devoted to 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 God. We all verily are devoted unto God. We all verily voted unto God. We all verily are devoted 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 unto God. We all verily give praise 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 unto God. We all verily yield thanks unto God. We all verily yield thanks unto God. We all verily give thanks unto God. We all verily give thanks unto God. We all verily yield 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 thanks unto God. We all verily give thanks unto God. We all verily are patient in 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 God.
Thank you, dear friends. That concludes our program. There was supposed to be a little song by yours truly, but I'm going to spare you the details. um, there, I don't know what your plans are, but we can stay here for a while afterwards, so we don't have to break off and break up. Um, some of you may want to stay in Montgomery. We have a very interesting new museum called the Legacy Museum that you might consider. Some of the Baha'is are meeting this evening for dinner, and you're so welcome to join them. The Baha'is are fasting at the moment, and so at night they were breaking the fast together at 6 p.m. We can give you the details. And before we go, Johnny May wanted for us to leave with a last gift of hers, a rose. And so those who are fortunate enough to get the rose, those are Johnny's final parting gift to us. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Johnny's like, I am finding family. She kept But it's nice to meet you. Yeah, hopefully it's good. No, I'm just but I think this thing got to do. So where do you choose? Where do you go? But this was a great ceremony. I love it. We were driving and we saw these cars back. We said, this was that was getting way back when they were on the road, right? We were about getting late. Looks like we got They weren't bad.